share this little thing with you guys. And recently, I noticed I was breaking out, and I had a sneaking suspicion what was causing me to break out, but I wasn't too sure. So, what I decided to do is I decided to overload myself on bread because I always thought like, I think bread is making me break out. It's not bread that is, deep fried in oil or anything. I'm using olive oil. And I've always had this like suspicion that it's gluten itself that causes me issues. So that's the reason why you don't see pasta. I try to stay away from sandwiches. I eat cookies, but of course the amount of flour in a cookie isn't too bad, especially if it's like a little cookie. So yeah, I have probably breakout in the year right now because of bread. See this stuff? So this is like the Joe's brioche buns. This is so freaking good. But oh my goodness, my breakout is just terrible. And it reminds me of, when I was in high school, I had a really bad acne problem. I wish I could find you guys pictures, but it was terrible. So basically on the sides of my face, all the way up to basically my eyeballs to basically like, when you imagine the 80s people putting on blush, that heavy blush that goes on from here to here, here to here, it was all inflamed acne. And I went to the best dermatologist in Hawaii. Went to three, and they couldn't help me out. I was on every single topical medicine at the time. I was on antibiotics for a number of years, and I went on Proactive. It just didn't help me at all, and I wasn't eating fried food as much, and it just made people, including myself, wonder like, why is my acne so bad? What is causing it to be so terrible? I'm not eating fried food. I wasn't eating too much sugar. And I look back and I remember that every day I would be eating lots of bread. I love eating bagels. I like eating croissants. I like eating baguettes. And I really believe that inflammation, I think I'm sensitive to gluten. So that's when we had this persistent breakout for a number of years. And throughout time, it's like I kind of tapered off my gluten. I used to eat it a lot when I was younger, not so much anymore. But it's just like I thought maybe I was over it because I had a peanut allergy for like the longest amount of time. I used to sneeze and sneeze and sneeze and have a runny nose. It's kind of gone away. Maybe I'm still a little allergic, but I don't really notice it too much. And if any of you guys have acne or you know someone with a lot of acne, it might be milk as well. I notice milk, regular milk, like whole milk, half and half milk, 2% milk. It's just something inside of milk itself and shredded cheese that makes me break out. Like the block cheese, I don't have any issue for whatever reason, but milk itself causes me to, and the shredded cheese and the bread. So I'm just gonna wean myself off of this bread thing. Sad because I was hoping that I could just enjoy bread happily, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna be the case. I'm gonna have to severely cut my bread. I'm already limiting down my sugar, and I want to have clear skin, but it's good to know, hey, if I overload it on bread, even something like two of these little burger buns, yeah, this causes me to break out a lot. And nothing else in my diet, so it's not like I'm eating super. It's not like I was eating like fried chicken or anything like that, or the typical you would imagine people with acne would be eating. It's just gluten. So gluten is the stuff in bread, it's in cookies, it's in wheat, it's in pasta. It's basically everywhere. Everywhere. So please limit your gluten. If you drink milk and you have an acne problem, try cut out the milk, the shredded cheese and the bread and the sugar, and that clears it up. Yeah, it's just I can't believe how bad my breakout was. It's like, oh my gosh. It's freaking. Oh, and also change your pillow. changing your pillowcase is really important to do as well. And I regularly change our pillowcase. We have white, so our sheets always look the same because we only have white sheets. That's it. So yeah, I don't, so when I was looking at this thing, I do believe that um, I do believe, like, in most of this stuff, if your cheeks, it's usually probably because of the pillowcase. Most of you guys, or most of the people watching the stream, are males, but if you wear makeup, like, if I notice, if I wear makeup, I tend to break out the next day. I don't know what it is, except maybe Bare Minerals. Bare Minerals doesn't break me out. And then, of course, hormonal time of the month, that breaks me out as well. And yeah, but definitely bread is a trigger food for me. And I wish I had known about that when I was younger. It just never went on my radar. Like, nobody talks about bread. Everybody talks about, oh, stay away from the pizza, stay away from the fried food. Kind of innocent to me. And I remember in my high school, like I said, I would eat bread every day. My favorite thing to do would be eating like a sandwich, like a butter croissant. Um, I think it was like tuna and like American cheese inside of there. Like, that was my jam to eat. And come home, eat more bread, and just lots and lots and lots of bread. Yeah, so I do best on keto, for sure. I remember when I was on almost, I was trying to go zero carb, which is impossible because, there's just, life is too short to go zero carb. But when I was on a low carb diet, I do feel much better. I don't like feeling gassy, so I don't like eating too much beans. And the vegetarian diet, it just like all those beans, it just wreaks havoc on me. And eating meat makes me feel more grounded. I know some people will be like, oh, Erica, the animals, but really, it makes me, I feel more on it when I eat meat. And I think of bread as filler food now. It's tasty, like, don't get me wrong. Carbohydrates is very soothing, it's very comforting. I'm not going to be able to turn down, one of those, if you go to a restaurant and they offer you free bread, like, I know I'm going to get bread, but yeah, I gotta stay away from things like waffles and pancakes, and I still eat a scone here and there, but I try to limit as much as I can. I just, like, yeah, now I know definitively it's like the worst breakout I've had in a year. It's kind of embarrassing how bad it is. I was like looking at it, and like most of my, weird because like most of my breakouts like around here, like right on my chin area. It's not here and it's not here, so yeah. And the more I ate bread, it's like I was like, whoa, 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 what's happening with my skin? Why does my skin look so mad? And I didn't change any of my facial products, so I'm still using the serums, I'm still using the tallow, but I think that when I have inflammation, it's like that stuff can work on the outside, but it doesn't solve inflammation coming from inside going outward. You see what I'm saying? So I think there could also be, I don't know what it is about gluten that really about my skin if I eat too much of it. I really don't know what it is. This link, it's like an acne skin map. If you go on, here, let me look. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna update it right now. Hold on. So yeah, if I'm sleep deprived, I notice that I do break out more on my forehead. And I think I can't say definitively if this is 100% correct, but I really do believe that if there is a breakout around here and here, then it's either probably diet or hormonal. And because I mostly cook for myself, I don't really eat out too much. When I was seeing this breakout, I thought, oh my goodness, it has to be something that's in my diet. And the only new introduction that I added to my food in a sizable quantity was the bread. Other than that, I'm normally eating something like a stew with rice or eggs. It's like that's a constant, and I think it's very important to keep kind of like a food diary and see what happens. So again, my acne triggers might not be the same as yours, but mine's is regular milk. So we only get almond milk. I'm not too big of a fan of soy milk, so I really like the Califia brand. But also the silk almond milk is not too bad if the Califia is not on sale. So I have to take out the milk. I have to watch my sugar to really watch my gluten intake, because if I eat too much gluten, like it's just really bad. And um, yeah, that's about it. Just flour, sugar, and what was it? Flour, sugar, shredded cheese, and I think that's it. Unless I'm forgetting something off the top of my head. But yeah, I think those are the main three things that I don't eat. So yeah, pizza with shredded cheese. That could be really bad for my skin. It's because you can think like it's that shredded cheese. I don't know what it is about shredded cheese, but shredded cheese really screws up my skin for some reason. I don't know if it's like the stuff that they put on the cheese, or maybe it's just weird. Like I can eat regular cheese fine, and then if I eat shredded cheese like on a pizza, it just breaks me the beep out. And yeah. Yeah, I think it's inflammation. I think my acne stems from inflammation. So maybe the hormones inside milk, regular milk, is causing my skin to break out. That's why you don't really see me eat too much. Oh, that's another one. I don't really eat too much ice cream because something in ice cream breaks me out a lot of the time. I don't know what exactly it is, but maybe it's something inside of the milk. I don't know. So, but even when like I have butter every day, but it's not too much butter, so maybe that's why I'm not breaking out on that. But yeah, that breaks me out. Milk breaks me out. Yogurt, Greek yogurt, like I usually eat the Fage 5%. This one, I usually eat that one, and yeah, I have no problem with this. It's really weird. See this one? This is my jam. I usually eat this with honey. Um, Yeah, I usually have this with like a spoonful of honey, and I'm like a happy person. Lewis eats this usually every day for like midnight snack, or sometimes he'll eat this for dinner with peanut butter. And yeah, it's like all these little like substitutions that I have to make in my diet. It really helps. So I don't have like my skin is not too bad. I think if you like notice, if you see my skin, it looks pretty clear. If you saw my skin in high school was terrible. I'm really lucky that I don't have like the pitted acne scars. I know some people have that. I've met people who have that, and they have to get like laser, some kind of like laser resurfacing done, and it's pretty expensive, to get laser resurface. I think it's like a fraxel laser or something like that. But it works. That laser works, and it does definitely helps with the pitted scar look. But acne is one of those things after I'm still experiencing. But what I realize is like, yeah, just don't, if you have acne, don't just treat the surface of it. Look and see what's going on in your diet. I know some people, they'll be like, oh, I don't want to eat any fatty food. So they'll start loading up on like fruits, and maybe the sugar is causing them to break out. So I think if you want a very low inflammation food, and this is just my opinion, I would say stick with more meats. I don't think like meat is very, it doesn't have that much inflammation, and that's just my opinion, like grass-fed stuff. And I know when I tried to go on the carnivore diet, it didn't last very long. I remember it's like I looked leaner. I felt more grounded, and anything about my skin except I looked more radiant. Maybe it's because I cut a lot of the crap out of my diet, the gluten, the sugar, the other stuff, and it just went to really, um, how would I say it? I don't want to say primitive nutrition, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like it's more like a diet. So eating sardines is also healthy. I don't have any problems with eating sardines, but geez, this gluten thing is really no joke. Um, yeah, so I heard it's the potato starch. I heard there's potato starch put on the cheese, but I can't confirm that. Maybe it's like something like that. I might be allergic to it. I did also read that there are some people who are acne sufferers. They say, yeah, they notice if they eat sliced cheese, like the block cheese stuff, like, but once they do shredded cheese, they break out. So I think it's something on the shredded cheese, but I can't confirm what it is. So yeah, but try cut out all that stuff. Cut out the cheese, cut out the dairy, cut out the gluten, and see how you're and cut off any like deep fried food. Like get rid of the French fries, get rid of like the fried donuts. I know it's tasty, but if you make that kind of change and you go at it for about like 2 weeks or so, you should see significantly less breakouts. I didn't. How do I jump from investment to skincare? It's because I've been eating a lot of bread, and when I'm kind of stressed out, my go-to thing is eating bread. And it's not like I'm breaking out because of the stress. It's like I was looking at the bread and I was just like eating, 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 eating. And next thing I know, I started having a breakout. And then yesterday I thought, okay, well, let me overload on bread. And oh no. So, yeah, I did. I had um, really bad acne when I was a teenager. I had so much acne from here to here, and then I also had acne over here. So here, basically my cheeks, and then like over here on my nose area, and then over here. But it was just like acne all over the place. And again, I'm really thankful I don't have like pitted scarring like some people. I mean, like I still have, according to the dermatologist that I went to, like I do have scarring, but I don't really notice it. Um, and then I have like uneven skin because I have a I forgot what it is, but I have to go to a dermatologist every so often, and I think they use liquid nitrogen if I remember correctly. No, 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 they don't use liquid nitrogen. They use like a pen and then they basically burn the thing off. So it's like uneven little spots. I think it's called like seborrhea or something like that. Some kind of like waxy thing on your skin, and it's pretty common with Asians, according to my dermatologist. So he saw it and he was like, "Yeah, that's not acne. That's the seborrhea something something." And yeah, um, but for like my gout, it's that I'm having right now. Yeah, so I kind of like as I get older, I realize, and maybe it's just me being kind of conspiracy theory like, but I kind of think that a lot of the standard American diet is really kind of screwing us over. To eat, which is like the pancakes, the hamburgers, the deep fried stuff, all the vegetable oils. I'm not too big of a fan of vegetable oils. I try to stay away from like regular vegetable oil. I still use like avocado oil here and there, olive oil, but any of like the cheap oils, like I try to really stay away from. It's like I notice when I eat too much processed food, I feel like crap, my skin looks duller, I kind of look like crap, and no offense to that kind of food, I kind of think like if you eat it too long, it's gonna catch up because it's not real nutrition. And yeah, when I look at the stuff on the soup shelves, looking at let's say cheese nips and really tasty things, like I have a big sweet tooth. Like don't get me wrong, but what I've been doing lately is instead of going for sugary foods, like I still go for sugary foods here and there. Like don't get me wrong, I try to load up on fats. So I'll go and eat nuts instead, or I'll try to like have a protein shake, or like fill up on protein, fill up on fats, sardines with rice, that kind of kicks out my sugar cravings as well. And fats make me feel a lot fuller, a lot longer. And I think, what was it, like 2 days ago, I had a massive sugar craving. Sugar is really addictive. I mean, that stuff is no lie. So I had a massive sugar craving. I wanted to binge out on sugar because I was like, oh my gosh, Erica, like you haven't really been eating sugar that often. So I opened up a can of sardines and then I put it on some rice. And I know rice can it turns into like sugar into your bloodstream, so it's not good to eat too much rice either, right? But at least it's not refined sugar. And yeah, I felt better eating those sardines. Yeah, so I'm like watching what I'm eating. I don't like feeling like crap. I don't want to look in the mirror and see all this breakout kind of thing. And I think it's kind of embarrassing that it took me so long to concretely say, hey, bread makes me break out. But I like to share that with you guys because bread seems so innocent. Regular milk, seems so innocent. Like nobody thinks about that kind of stuff. I was raised to believe that drinking regular milk is good for you. Like the whole got milk stuff. And then I know when I was growing up, it was like, oh, did you drink milk today? But bread breaks me out, milk breaks me out, shredded cheese breaks me out, high sugar breaks me out, fried foods like French fries can break me out, but it's not near as bad as the bread, and it's not nearly as bad as the milk. So no ice cream for me too. But I'll never say never. Just keep that into moderation. But yeah, yeah. Can you imagine those people who have, let's say, they're teenagers, right? And they have bad acne, and then they go to school, they get the school lunch, and then the school lunch has like a little carton of milk, and they don't realize that they're breaking out because of the little carton of milk, or they are breaking out because specifically that they're eating, let's say, Eggo waffles in the morning, then they're eating some sort of sandwich at lunch, then their snack when they come home with cream cheese. You see how it can kind of like creep in on you? You don't really think about that. Like, yeah, I used to eat so many bagels before. I used to eat ice cream a lot. I used to drink mud. I was just kind of really, now that I look back, it's like I was really screwing over my skin and I didn't even realize it. Yeah, so um yeah, but I haven't been eating ice cream. I haven't been eating ice cream. I didn't change my dairy levels within the last couple days or so. It's just the consumption went significantly up, and yeah, the breakout's not looking good. So I hope that as I, cut down the gluten, I'm gonna my gluten. How would I say it? My gluten. I don't want to say I'm binging on gluten because it's not even considered that much of a binge. Two sandwich buns isn't really considered binging on gluten for a lot of people. But yeah, I have to really dramatically cut down my gluten because I don't want to end up with like all this acne and then I just cause it, right? So I rather have clear skin. The dangerous thing about having acne too is depending on how the acne is, like you can end up with scarring. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that's why I want to minimize the amount of acne that I have. Yeah, yeah. So, but I wish that people had speak more about this kind of stuff. Like acne is not just a hormonal thing. Don't think that, oh yeah, once you get out at like a certain age, you'll never have acne again. Like some people always think like, oh, it's always just the teenagers who are prone to acne, and then when they get older, you get clear skin. No, that's not the case. I know several people. They're adults and they still are battling. And what I realize is like if I don't watch my gluten intake, I will have not great skin. Some people would disagree. Some people say that gluten leads to inflammation. So there's actually a no gluten movement. Or people say, yeah, they try carbs and then they go on keto. But yeah, What's my vegetable game? I eat a lot of vegetables. I'll eat any vegetable actually. I'll eat cauliflower, onions. I'll eat broccoli. I'll eat carrots. What else? Beans. Sweet potatoes. I had sweet potatoes today. So yeah, it just sucks. And yeah, I've been drinking a lot of water too, so I know it's not my water intake either. Because you see over here, they'll say things like, "Oh, water intake." Yeah, it's not my water intake. I drink so much water. My face looks too malnourished and skinny. It balances it because you're skinny itself, or do you think your face just looks unhealthy? Because if your face looks dry or something, I highly recommend getting a moisturizer, get some sort of serum, and put that on your face. Where is this? Oh, I was looking at my little Reddit thing. Yeah, so look at this. So, according to the internet, people will say things like, oh, um, there's no evidence between an acne. But then you also have people say things like, oh, my acne basically disappeared after I cut out gluten, sugar, and, or like this one, gluten, the greatest enemy of clear skin. Let's read that. So yeah, I'm probably gluten sensitive. I don't know how many gluten sensitive people there are out there, but yeah, I found that the hard way. That oh, look at this. So this woman, she had clear skin, and then all of a sudden she ended up with like cystic acne. Big crappy zits that started to turn out, and that's exactly what I have. It's terrible. It's terrible, you guys. Um, And yeah, the only thing that I changed recently was really the gluten. See that? Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, I forgot. See, it's in the vegan meats. It's in soy sauce, ketchup, ice cream. It's in everything. Yeah, I'm gonna copy and paste this thing if you guys want to read it. There you guys go. In case you guys want to see that later on. Yeah. Yeah, so if you I don't think like we're able to digest certain things very well, and that causes people to get bloated or have a lot of gas. So that's why people recommend taking digestive enzymes, and I do sometimes take digestive enzymes. And let's see here. Oh, you know what I heard bounce off you could do? There's this thing called mewing. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Let me show you this really quick. So I don't know. I heard that this works, but basically it's like if you change the posture of your tongue, and there's a bunch of exercises on it. Supposedly it's supposed to make your jawline more defined and supposed to help with that. So find it. Yeah, so I guess this is an example over here. So this guy doesn't look like he has a strong chin. And then when you change your tongue posture, and I looked at this today, okay? So I haven't started it, but I was kind of curious about this. But if you change your tongue posture and then you exercise the muscles in your jaw, there's all these mewing exercises. I don't know if your jaw can really look like this, but it's supposed to significantly make it look more wider or more shapelier, and yeah. See? Like this. You can see the big difference here. See this? this. And I've also heard when I was reading about this stuff, I want to share with you guys in the community post, but what I was reading is people were saying one of the reasons why we have um, like a less strong jawline is because we're eating softer foods now. So if a person eats like a lot of steak, for instance, yeah, they're chewing, right? So they're working their jaw muscles, and if they're eating, like, let's say if they're just drinking smoothies or eating like soups or soft foods, like the muscles in their jaw allegedly kind of, I don't want to say deteriorates, but it doesn't have that much definition as it used to before. So that's why some people do these kind of jaw exercises to kind of promote this shape. You know, this shape from here looks kind of like not enough definitions to more chiseled. So, so yeah, this stuff, it's called mewing. Mewing. Yeah, and there's like all sorts of exercises online. I just really just started love within the last hour because I was looking at my jawline and I was like, huh, I remember hearing about those facial exercises that you can make the definition underneath here a little bit stronger. And yeah, I'm kind of curious to try it. I think that I don't see anything wrong with working on, like, this is an illustration, right? Over here. But you can kind of see it looks a little not so defined here versus this one. Yeah. I think part of it too is that people are straying away from eating a lot of meat. You know, there is a movement to be anti-meat, and then if people are replacing more with softer stuff and just eating, let's say, vegetables, you don't really work your jaw as much. So this is the stuff that I heard, and I actually I do when I see these kind of jaw exercises like before and after, I kind of think, well, oh, maybe there's a point there. It's not stuff that, it's stuff that I heard. That, yeah, when you eat like softer foods, it's kind of doesn't, you might not have as chiseled of a jawline. So it's not saying that you're gonna have no jawline. It's just saying that your jawline might not be as defined if you were eating harder food and you have to work your jaw when you're chewing. If you don't have cheeks on your face, oh, I don't know how to solve that. I would say like the only way your face can get volume would be you have to gain weight. I disagree. I don't find vegetables are harder than the on the teeth than meats because like if I eat a celery, I don't really have much chewing to do. It's like two chews and I'm done. But with meat, I feel like I have to chew more. Or like if you eat a banana, it's not really doing much. Like you see what I'm saying? Like if I'm chewing on a banana, it's like chew chew, gulp gulp. Part of it is, of course, if you have a stronger bone density, like some people are blessed with having really, chiseled jawlines, but other people don't. But I think if you like look at this stuff, you can see like, yeah, if you put in some exercise, you can see that there is like a difference in the jawlines between people. And mewing is something that's been around for quite some time, it seems. And I'm a big fan of doing things where you build the muscle and then you don't have to get cosmetic surgery. Because I know some people would say, oh, if your jaw or your more chiseled jaw, then just get cosmetic surgery. But I kind of feel like if someone's unhappy with, let's say, their jawline, work on it. If there's any facial exercises, and there should be a difference. Yeah. So, oh look, Vice made up a thing. Mewing works. Let's see this. Okay, so this This is how she started before, this is how she started after 6 months, and this is how she started after 12 months. So, yeah, there's a difference as long as you're consistent. Exercises she did, but um, yeah, that is a big difference. I don't know. I don't really see a person like this getting cosmetic surgery done just for an article. Yeah, that's the facer. There's like a ball that you're supposed to chew on, and that's supposed to tone your mouth. I heard about that. It's like facer size or something like that. But I don't know. I'm just not really into basically having like a dog chew toy and just gnawing on that throughout the day. Anyway, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. I need to get going on some things, but I just wanted to make a short stream because it was on my mind, and I thought maybe someone will have a benefit from this. If anybody has done mewing, let me know. I just started looking at this today because I was curious. It seems that if you do this kind of stuff, it's not just like it's not like you have a transformation in 1 week or 2 weeks. It seems like you have to be consistent with things, but that's how most things in life is, right? If you want to lose weight, it's not like you just work out one day and then you get a nice body. You have to have a routine, and if you have a routine over time, you start seeing facial changes. Now for this thing, I think this is a little, I don't know, it just seems like it's a really drastic change. But from what I've been reading online from people, they say like, yeah, they've been working on their mewing for many months, and people can tell the difference. So I got to look more into it, and mewing, and see where it takes me. But first, I have to read up on more on it. Tongue blisters, really? You can get tongue blisters? Jeez. Oh, jeez. Damn you, Ed, damn you. I think that people should try it and see if it works for themselves. Yeah, this is the jaws size thing. So this is supposedly a before and after over here. I just have more faith in something if they don't try to sell you product. If they say all you have to do is these little exercises and then your jaw can be changed. I that a lot more than the people who say, "Oh yeah, you gotta buy this product." You gotta. I don't know how this woman got her jaw looking like that, but yeah, like that that definitely looks a lot different. Who knows? Who knows what caused that? It does seem fake, but I don't know with this one. See, see, my face kind of looks like this. It just is kind of like this, but this one it juts out more. You can even see the chin seems to jut out more. It looks like it has more of a, how would I say it? It doesn't look so flat, for lack of better other description. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have routines, if you just work on it, and then inevitably you'll find something that works for you in terms of what makes you, what gives you the energy to walk 3 miles. And remember, if you fall off the bandwagon with your routine, you can always get back up. Like yesterday, I forgot to floss my teeth. I was so freaking tired. I just fell asleep without brushing my teeth or flossing. I know, absolutely terrible. And then I woke up today and I was like, okay, I gotta brush my teeth and I gotta floss. Yeah, so I want my face to look more chiseled and not so like this. So that's why I was looking up mewing. Oriel's teeth is a work in progress. I've been using that supplement on his teeth, and he's been doing pretty well on it. I'm gonna see how it goes. His breath doesn't stink anymore. That's a good upside about it. Downside is I want to see if the tartar buildup kind of dissipates. If it doesn't, then he has to go to the vet. And yeah, because his tartar looks pretty damn bad in my opinion. I question. I'm like, how does Oreo have such bad tartar buildup and the other two cats are like much better? I look at Clinton's teeth, it looks great. I look at Blackberry's teeth, looks great to me, and then I look at Orioles and I'm like, oh, Oreo, what happened to your teeth? Why does it look so bad? You eat the same food as the other two cats. Yeah, I think that yeah, weight gain can do that, of course, because when you gain weight, you don't just gain weight on your body, right? You gain weight all over, so everything looks a little bit more padded. Did I figure out why I had one of my teeth has a white line? Yeah, it's called hypocalcification, I believe. That was a word for it. And it just seems like my teeth needs a little bit more fluoride on there. So I got the fluoride in. It's downstairs. I got to pick it up. I also I got a Sonicare. So you guys recommended me getting a Sonicare. I picked up a Sonicare. I picked up my Pro Enamel Repair enamel toothpaste, see if that one works, and then I picked up the gel cam, and I'm gonna just try and go crazy on my teeth and try and baby my teeth. And oh, and I picked up new floss too. See how it works. I have no problem with my current floss, but that stuff, um, I want to see how it goes. So for everybody who gave me suggestions about like what I should do. And I took your Sonicare suggestion, and I know also you guys recommended me some sort of handheld. I remember how it looks like, but I haven't seen it in the supermarkets yet. I didn't see it on Amazon. So when I see it, I'll pick it up. But until then, I'm just doing the old school flossing thing, which is just, using your fingers and then just putting it between your teeth. School doing good for you? No, Oreo hasn't been smoking. He just has really bad teeth. I don't know what it is about that cat's teeth. It just looks terrible compared to the other cat's teeth. So I hope his teeth get better over time with this little dental rinse and with the tooth little supplement thingy majingy. But only time will tell. It's not like he gets it done and then tomorrow his teeth are gonna look sparkling new. But I'm willing to give it some time to see if it works. Some people say they see a remarkable difference in a few weeks, and if I don't really see too much of a difference, then yeah, off to the vet cleaning he goes. And I don't think I think that Oreo won't be too happy getting his teeth cleaned. He does seem to like being a messy cat for whatever reason. I don't know what it is about him. He eat it outside of the food bowl, so it creates a huge mess. I don't know why he can't eat inside the bowl, but he just prefers not to eat in the bowl. Food on his face, he'll get food on his paw. Um, yeah, he's just a really messy cat. Oh, well, keep us updated about your schooling. Yeah, I know it must be pretty tough having with the situation, everything has to be online, and I think sometimes it's like people like interact with others in person, and um, with this kind of, I feel like getting education done online can be a good thing, but it also doesn't have that same like camaraderie. Like when you meet people and get to people afterwards, or yeah, that's the one thing that I remember about college. It's like people would go to class, and after class, some people will talk, or they just hang out afterwards. And now people can't do that. Everything's online. Yeah, the smell of cigarettes. It's very distinctive, isn't it? Like I just kind of think like when you do online classes, and maybe it's just me. It's like should I don't know how tuition is ever since COVID, but I kind of think like, man, they don't have to deal with like a lot of the cost as much as before. If teachers are teaching at their home, they don't have to deal with like the electricity costs. Like, yeah, maybe you got costs for Zoom meetings or something like that, but a lot of like in-person costs are kind of not really there anymore. Like for schooling, I feel like for some of these private schools, it's like if everybody has to get their schooling done online, it's like why is the freaking education so freaking expensive? It's crazy. Like a lot of the private schools and like okay, so here's a private school in Hawaii. So Punahou is a school. This is where Barack Obama went to school when he got schooling in Hawaii. Look at this. Grades K to 12, $26,000. Can you imagine paying $26,000 for a kindergartner or a first grader to go to school every year? I'm like, frick, this is so expensive. This is insane. $26,000. And of course, 90 after graduation, 99% of students from the school go on to a 10 full year. Like they better go to a college if your parents are gonna shell out this much money. I knew a person who whose parents paid for private school for them from kindergarten up to junior year, and this was private school. This was at another private school, and then they weren't doing very good, and I believe their junior year they dropped out because their grades were so low, and they ended up getting a GED. And I remember thinking to myself, what a freaking waste. Like your parents are spending all this money, you go to a private school and you don't graduate from a private school, you drop out, and it's like all that private school money just went push. Because when that person got it, it doesn't say it came from the private school. It just is like some standard ass GED. So, yeah, private schools is more like it's like a little bubble. So I went to a private school for grade school and high school, and I can tell you for a fact it's not like the education teaches you like amazing stuff at all. It's more like you're more sheltered, shall I say, and then maybe there's like less of like the bad crowd. There's I don't remember hearing any fights going on in my school, for example, because we all had to wear uniforms. We all knew each other. It was like a really, I think our class was only like 150 people or so, so it wasn't that big, and yeah, there's just like not too many people acting up because we it's like a lot of the same class. It's like there's very very few people entering a new like year that we don't know already. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like for instance, if you enter in second grade, right, and then you go into third grade, a lot of the people that you knew from second grade is gonna be in third grade, and you'll have very 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 few people who are new students going into that third grade class. So it's not like people move and then they go off to a private school or anything like that. So private school is sheltered. There's less involvement with the bad crowd. But when I went into college, I went to state college, and it wasn't, I didn't feel well prepared as much as people would probably say like, oh Erica, shouldn't you have been like super prepared because you had like a I had like a 3.33 GPA in high school. And yeah, you would think that I would be really on it, but I remember going into college and I was kind of lost. I was like, huh? I was like, oh geez, you know, it's like I wasn't a dumb kid, but it was just I felt kind of ill prepared about certain things, and that's kind of alienating to say. So what I would recommend is I think instead of going in a private school, what I mean, like going into a private school, there's no downside about private school except really the cost. But what I would recommend is instead of spending like $26,000 a year on private school, better to invest some money into tutoring instead, like Kumon or like those like Sylvian learn programs, you know, that kind of stuff. That I feel like you get more bang for your buck rather than sending them to private school. The only upside about private school, like your kid probably won't come home getting beaten up or anything like that. My experience, at least, it's like I said, it's like my graduating were so close knit in the sense like everybody knew each other and it's like nobody causes trouble. Like if someone punched someone else, like everybody knew about it. We're like, oh my goodness, someone person is just like the talk of the whole day is one person punching another person, and that happened I think only once that I can remember my whole school life, someone getting punched. And I think in public school that happens maybe probably more frequently. So yeah, that's the only upside about private school that I can think about. Yeah, I hated Kumon. I hated Kumon. I got tired of those freaking worksheets. You know why I don't like Kumon? It's like you have all the repetition, but the downside about that is like if I needed help with homework for my own math class, right? And I asked my Kumon teacher, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm struggling in math, and I know it's something other than Kumon, but I need your help. Like the Kumon teacher wouldn't want to help me with that. And that just turned me off of it because I was thinking to myself, like, you're teaching me how to do this certain thing, but I'm learning something else and I need help with that something else. And I'm getting math tutoring. So what is the point of me getting tutoring? You know, it's like I get the whole idea of Kumon. I think it's great. But if a child needs help with their math curriculum and it's not the same thing they're learning in Kumon, then it's kind of useless. So I stopped going to Kumon after a while, and I was so happy about it because I was like, frick, I'm doing all these freaking worksheets over and over and over, and I was learning stuff. Like I was really good at math back then. Now I'm significantly slower, but I feel like it prepared me in a sense. But you know, $70 a month or so, I don't think it was really worth it. Now with the internet, now with YouTube, you can probably like, print out your own Kumon worksheets. You can just do it yourself. I didn't even really, frick, I don't know calculus. I thought calculus was kind of useless, and I hate to say it to the people like this, but I don't do anything except add, subtract, multiply 99% of the time. 99.5% of the time as an adult. And unless you're getting into some sort of like engineering or some sort of physics, I kind of doing things like standard deviation, you know, find X. Does anyone go on the street and it's like, hey, I want you to figure out this like Pythagorean theorem kind of thing? Like, no, no, unless you're in like a certain niche field. It's good to learn, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the stuff I learned, it just went out one year and went out the other year. So yeah, I maintain that my thoughts about the. I think there's just so much fluff in the education system. I wish that when I was growing up, or when I was in school, I wish that I could have condensed it. I think that a lot of the stuff that I needed to know, it could have been condensed down to like a few years. And I know people would, you know, I mean, like not, you know, of course, like writing and speaking, that kind of stuff. Well, actually, it's arguable. I still need to fix that on my, but, um, like a lot of the stuff, it's just filler stuff, like social studies for how many years? Frick, we don't need to know about that. I don't need to spend a good 8 years of my life or 10 years of my life learning about the world every year. Like that's kind of crazy when I think about it that way. Um, or like art. not art, but like yeah, so the big one that falls in with history. What's another filler stuff? I'm trying to think. Yeah, like I kind of think math is not a lot. Like, does it take really that long for some? Does people really need to spend that long on certain math things when they're probably not going to use it? No. So I wish our education in terms of grade school and high school, I wish that was condensed. So it was a lot shorter than what it is. Yeah, I wish that I didn't spend so long in grade school and high school, because when I got out of it, I was like, okay, I learned something, but it wasn't like it's dramatically different than not going, spending all those years in school, because most of the stuff just went out of my head. Oh, no, no, no. This is private school. I was talking about private school, my thoughts about private school. Um yeah, so if you want to go to private school in Hawaii at Punahou, which is where Barack Obama went to private school, it costs $26,000 a year. This is from kindergarten to 12th grade. So if you have a kindergartner, you're going to pay 26,000 a year. If you have a first grader, it's 26,000 a year. And between, you can imagine how much this is going to be, over $250,000 just sending your kid over to private school. Yeah, just I actually went to summer school at Punahou. I didn't really care for it that much. Yeah, it was kind of dreary. I went there for, I think, some sort of math class of sorts. Yeah, and I was just like, Punahou, overrated. Didn't care for it too much. I also, yeah. So there are some like private schools in Hawaii, and like the big ones I think are basically Punahou and Iolani. I don't know what Iolani school tuition is actually. Let's see, Iolani. Oh, same 20. Oh, it's about 26. Okay, so Iolani is 24,375. Yeah, Iolani people. You guys probably don't know about Iolani students, but man, I went to Iolani, and Iolani, they are like super on it. They are like even the little kids, they're super studious. So if anybody is in Hawaii, which I highly doubt any of my 15 people watching right now are from Hawaii, I would recommend, if you're gonna spend 20 something K on a kid to go to school, send them to Iolani, because Iolani, they're really not gonna get in any trouble. Like those kids are super hyper focused. They're not playing around. They're not effing around. Their heads are in the books. Even the little kids. It's really insane. It's like that kind of culture is just wow, wow. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, this stuff is expensive. I can't believe how expensive freaking school tuition is now. Like school tuition is insane. Oh gosh. I wonder how is it gonna be in 10 years, right? 10 years, like private school probably gonna be like 30K or so. I knew a person who went to I think they went to some kind of prestigious boarding or something like that. It was either a boarding school or high school, and they were paying, like, their parents were paying $50,000 a year for it. I was like, holy crap, $50,000. Holy uh yeah, their family was like LOADED. I don't know what the family did, but when I heard about that, I was like, "Jeez, this is so much money." $50,000 to send a kid to school every freaking year. $50,000, you could send your kid to private school. Have the kid have a private tutor, and a part-time private tutor. You still, come out ahead. Yeah, send the kid to public school, pay a tutor to tutor them, have takeout for the kid, and then that's out to $50,000 a year. Are public schools free in America? Yes, they are free. They I think you have to pay tax dollars. I'm not too familiar with charter school, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. With with this kind of stuff, like, yeah, it seems nice to send your kid to private school. But if you're worried about your kid getting involved in the wrong crowd, if they have online learning and it's like remote learning, they're not gonna get involved with the wrong crowd because they're staying mostly at home, right? So I don't know. I don't know how public school education compares to private school education in Hawaii. I went to public school for 1 year when I was in first grade, and to be honest with you, I just remember like playing around with my friends. I don't remember ever studying, and maybe that's why I got pulled from public school because yeah, there was she either something like that or she didn't return my stuff, and yeah, I think maybe my mom was a little concerned about me getting picked on or something like that, so they're like, okay, we're gonna send our kid to private school. My family did. It's just that there was a lot of sacrifice made to send me to private school, and a lot of people that I know, they went to private school. It's not like their family was loaded. Again, it was just a lot of sacrifice to send the kid to private school. No, I mean, like, it depends. Like, I think cyberbullying mostly happens when people have a visible online profile, or, but like, if I had a kid, I would not allow my kid to have an online profile with their face on it. 100%. I would make sure that they use an alias. I would make sure that they don't use their name, and they don't show their face in any of the pictures, because I see some young children who are on YouTube, who were on YouTube, and then these people would come out from the internet and say like, "Oh, you're ugly, or you're not, you're this or you're that," and it can be very damaging to a child's um, self-esteem. So yeah, I would have that policy. Like, a kid, like, no real name, no picture of yourself. You can use a profile picture. You could put a picture of Hello Kitty or something if you want, but I don't want anybody being able to figure out, target my child if I had a child, and then just pick on them, and I don't even know who this person is. Yeah. So yeah, so like, same as like Snapchat and TikTok, I wouldn't want to have a kid using that kind of stuff. I'm not like, because I think that if you do that, like, it's kind of cute, and in an isolated platform, like, let's say a Facebook group, and like, exactly who's in the Facebook group, then that's safe. But a lot of this TikTok, Snapchat stuff, it's everybody can see it, and I don't know what kind of predators are out there, and I don't want some creepy person, possibly, like, if I had a kid, telling my kid, "Hey, kid, oh, you're really cool. Do you want to meet up or something?" Or, "Hey, like, cool. Let me know where you live." That's creepy. She needs privacy. That isn't even BlackBerry. That is a. I'm using a fake. So this cat over here, that's not BlackBerry. That's another cat whose face is famous on the internet, but I choose to use this cat that represents BlackBerry. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't want any of this stuff, because sometimes you find out about these young children who are teenagers, and they make this profile, and then their school bullies find them on the internet, and maybe they can harass them, right? Because let's say the kid's name is like, I don't know, Sandy Lee or something, right? Let's just say Sandy Lee. And then the bully looks up Sandy Lee. It's like, "Hey, look, that's the kid that I always pick on." So then they make this fake account and pick on this nice girl, and then Sandy doesn't know who's picking on her, or she sees multiple people picking on her. She doesn't know that's one person, and then it gets her down. Versus if Sandy made a alias and she named herself, I don't know, Hello Kitty Lovers 73. Like, who's gonna pick on Hello Kitty 73? Like, nobody knows who Hello Kitty Lover 73. It's something like, Pinecone Fan 31. Like, what can you ascertain about Pinecone Fan 31 except they like pine cones and they might be 31 years old? That's it. So yeah, and if anything gets a little over the top, right? Like you don't know how Pinecone 31 really looks like in real life. You don't know what their name is, how they look like. You don't know where they live. You're fine. So if I had an alias like that, I could make a account and just be, no one's gonna know who I am. I could say something like, I think that, I don't know, all be green and only green, like something ridiculous like that. But it can't be linked down to who I am. Yeah. So if anyone tries to bully at me for that thing, as ridiculous as it sounds, I know it's ridiculous. It's not like it can haunt me. You see, so. Yeah, there can be bullies, but if there is any bullying, like let's say you have a kid, right? Sandy Lee. Sandy Lee is in a online class and people look at them and they're like, "Oh, this person looks like I want to pick on her." If they try to find Sandy Lee on TikTok or Snapchat or Facebook, they're not going to find Sandy Lee if she's using an alias. They'll be like, "Man, I want to pick on this person, but I can't pick on this person because I don't know where they are online." So that's the beauty about having an alias. So, and I highly recommend it. I know some people that I know, they will use their real name about certain things. Um, And I think it's dangerous because you could have someone that you randomly meet and then they can stalk you on Facebook or they can try to stalk you online, and that's kind of creepy. Like, hey, I know, like if they met this fictitious Sandy Lee, right? Let's just pretend Sandy Lee's an adult now. Sandy Lee's an adult, and then one of, some person that she goes to college with or something's like, hey, I know you're in my class. Like, hey, do you want to chat? Like, that's, if Sandy Lee doesn't want to interact with them, like, they don't have to turn them down if they don't even know Sandy Lee has a Facebook or Snapchat or TikTok. Yeah, it's dangerous to have anything linked with your real name online, in my opinion. If you do have that kind of stuff and people track it, it can come you. That's why I have this policy where I don't want to have anything with any of like I don't want anything where it's like if I post on a message board, I don't want it to link to me. No, if something you say, you would think it might be all fun and games, but whatever you say, it could kind of offend someone. Like if, for instance, right, if I said, oh, I feel like the world should only be I feel like all speakers should only be black speakers, and there should be no like color speaker, if all walls should be one color, and that kind of stuff. As ridiculous as it sounds, right? Like, I don't know if someone could come across that one day and be like, this person looks like they're intolerant or they're an asshole because they believe that the only speakers that should be available are black speakers and not pink speakers or navy blue speakers, that kind of stuff. So yeah. So I don't want a kid to have their self-esteem attacked by strangers on the internet, and I would, if I had a kid, I would protect that kid from there, because it's just not worth it. I think as a parent, I'm not a parent, but I think as a parent has the responsibility to make sure that their kid comes out well-rounded, and it would piss off anybody if there's some person bullying it online and they can't put a face on this bully at all. So yeah. And then there's also people who do those like TikToks or Snapchats, and then I remember there was this like, like some people, they'll do certain things and then they'll get caught up in some sort of high profile thing, and the people will refer to their Snapchat and they'll be like, oh, look at this person's Snapchat, look at what they said on their Snapchat, and then it goes all over the freaking internet, and then the person who got caught in trouble be like, no, I didn't mean it like that, like I was just joking. Like, yeah, it's very dangerous to put your name and your face and everything else. And even if you're joking on the internet, people might not think you're joking at all. Again, if I had certain views about things, like if I said, oh, I feel like the only peanut butter that should be available is chunky and not creamy or something like that, like as um as innocent as that may seem, I could maybe piss someone off because like, what do you mean you only like chunky peanut butter? You don't like creamy? And I don't know. There's some weirdos on the internet. Oh, and just to clarify, I'm fine with both chunky and creamy peanut butter. But yeah, you don't know what kind of stuff would trigger a person. So yeah, just, well, if you have a kid or if you're on the internet, highly recommend don't use your real name. Use a alias. Use you take something like take a hint from Bounce Off over here, our anonymous individual who is like really anonymous. And that way, whatever you say, you don't have to worry about it getting traced over to you. I know, anonymous. I didn't want people from the creamy crowd. Lewis is he loves chunky peanut butter. I'm like, what about creamy? Creamy's good too. But I don't know. Reese's peanut butter cups that's full of sugar and bad stuff. That's tasty, and that's creamy peanut butter. I know, I know. Woohoo! Congrats! Fractal's daughter is finishing a master's degree in criminology. Oh my goodness, so young. In my opinion, 22 masters. Wow. Actually, is that around the age you finish a master's? Gosh, I feel so out of touch. I'm like masters of criminology. Like, what's that? 25 normally, yeah? 25. Oh, and I feel like I'm showing my age. I'm like, frick, yeah. What age was it when people graduate from getting their masters? I think it's 25 normally when people get their masters. But I think your daughter is graduating ahead, for sure. Yeah, because usually you get into college when you're 18, and then 4 years of college. Yeah, yeah, that's ahead of schedule. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You know what? It's a good thing. I love having people. There's some people. Look at Fractal's daughter. Started college at 17 on a law college. Wow. That is really impressive. You're very lucky you have such a studious daughter. I know sometimes, like, how kids are when it comes to education, they don't take that stuff seriously. Like that one person that I told you that dropped out of, like, freaking, I think it was like grade up to junior year in college, junior year in high school. They were in private school, and then their senior year, they dropped out. I was like, ah, oh, for frick's sake, you only had one. Actually, wait, was it sophomore year that they dropped out? And I think they dropped out in junior year because I know they definitely got their GED instead of a public school, a private school diploma. I just think like, man, the parents must have been like, if I was like the parents, I would have been crying. All those like over $100,000 wasted on this kid's tuition, graduate from private school. Like you can see the finish line, and the kid couldn't get to the finish line. Yeah. That's not even my kid, and I'm disappointed about that. It's been like over 10 years, and I'm just thinking like, all that money the parents spent on that private school education just went poof. Yeah, it's never too late to get your to go after your education. I have a lot of respect for the people who go to college. You know, let's say they're 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s. I had a college course once, and I saw an 80-year-old taking the class with me, and I thought to myself like, wow, it's really rare to find people like that. You know, people who will go into a room with people who are, let's say, a fraction of their age, but they're showing up because they sincerely want to learn. That that to me is absolutely incredible. And when I see people who tell me, they say like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go out to college, Erica, and I'm significantly older than my peers. I'm like, hey, don't be embarrassed about it. It's incredibly proud. You know, you should be incredibly proud going to college, trying to improve your education, get a better job. And it's never too late to learn. College is, from what I see, is a really expensive investment. And if someone is willing to put that money down to further their education like that, like good on them. You know, I applaud them so much. So good on you, Anya. Don't be embarrassed. Going to college, you're sending a message that you're never too old to want and improve yourself. So it's not embarrassing at all. It's a rarity. It really is, because a lot of, you got to think about it this way. A lot of people go to college partially because their parents expect them to, right? Or the parents are like, "Oh, I want you to go off to college." So if you're a grown adult and you're significantly older and you go to college, that shows that you are self-motivated. Self-motivated. You are going and signing up for that class and paying for it with your own money because you want to go. It's not because there's this expectation that when you hit, let's say, 18 years old, that you move off to college. So yeah. Anyway, I'm at like 5% battery, so my camera, my thingy majingy is gonna my thingy majingy, my phone. I can't speak today, you guys. My phone is gonna die soon, so I gotta end the stream, and I will talk to you guys later. But Brian May, is that the guy from Queen? Maybe if I'm well, anyway, tell me more about it at the in the comments section, because I can't. You know what? I'm gonna look that up. Brian Mace TV. I'm gonna look that up. But yeah, for people who do college when they're older, I have a lot of respect for them. Don't be shy of continuing education if you're older. Um, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It really is. And if someone is a self-starter and let's say college wasn't in their cards for whatever reason, you know, because they had to they had to make money or they raised a family. You know, life happens. If they go back and circle back to college in the future, then that's a great thing. College doesn't have an age limit, and I think we've seen so many people who are old, who are 80 years old or 90 years old. They go after their college education, and people really applaud them and they support it. It's not embarrassing to want to improve yourself, no matter what age you are, and no matter how old your peers are. Because I think everybody, when I think about college, it's like a desire to put yourself in a better place or to expand your mind. And yeah. So anyway, I gotta get going. I shall talk to you guys later. See ya. Oh, okay, good. It was that Brian May.